Hello folks, I'm Ed Swan, I'm the Director of TLA for STEM, and this is your introduction to the MDV programme at the college. That's from Medicine, Dentistry and Veterinary. If you can have the next slide, please. There we go. So the main thing about this, the first part of it is that realistically, if you want to progress into medicine, dentistry and veterinary, quite a few of the medicine schools and the dentistry and veterinary schools have GCSE requirements. So as well as the MDV programme, you might also be on the High Achievers programme. And we have different points that we admit people. So if you're going to get mainly 7s, 8s or 9s, then you'll definitely be on it. Now, if that isn't quite there, then don't panic, because actually there are a few people who've gone from medicine from the BTEC science, and if you do well on internal tests, you can be admitted to the High Achiever programme whilst you're at the college. So don't panic, first of all. It could be that the right decision for you is to still go for medicine, either via the BTEC route or via an alternative route as well. So that's the next slide, please. And that's why. So those are all the medical schools in the country, and that's what they've set for GCSE requirements. If you want more details about them, then just email me on edward.swan@stokesfc.ac.uk, and I'm happy to share that with you. I think ones that people often pick out on there is Keele, about halfway down, that has some 7s and 6s required. And there are some other ones on there that have slightly higher grades as well, like 6 7s from East Anglia. Don't panic though if that's not you. As I said, there are others like Exeter with 2 4s. So it isn't that you're blocked, it's that you might have to change which university you're applying through and possibly which courses you're doing at the college. Okay, next slide for me, please. So what is it we do? Well, we do a number of things, and the programme is all encompassing. So actually, there's different parts of it. So this is the curriculum part of it, and the curriculum part is quite restrictive in that to get onto it, you have to pick those 3 A-levels, with chemistry, biology and maths. And that means that because I'm in charge of all of them, you will only have lessons on 3 days. So you will not miss out on any college time for the other 2 days when you can be doing work experience, because the 3 lessons a week for chemistry and for biology and for maths will happen on those 3 days. That isn't to say you have to do those 3 to apply for medicine. It's to say those are the 3 that we would strongly recommend you do to do medicine. And if you do pick them as an incentive or result, you will get 3 days them timetable over it. That's the curriculum offer. Now, on top of that, there are 2 other offers as part of the programme. The first is the tutorial programme, which is led by Kerry-Ann, and that means you'll have a bespoke tutorial in your MDV group that will happen for 1 hour a week, and that's from Kerry-Ann. We normally have about 2 groups a year, so you'll be in one of the 2 groups. And the third thing is the society offer, and that happens separately from the other 2. So if it's the case that you decide to do A-level RE, A-level philosophy and A-level German, and then after decide you want to be a medic, then you can join the college's MDV society, because that is possible. It's a highly long route and slightly elaborate, but it is possible to do that. And that's why you might want to join the MDV society. And that meets weekly. And I believe next week will be on a Tuesday night from 4 till 5. Okay, next slide, please. That's just a little information about the High Achievers programme, so you can ask about that if you want to. Next slide, please. And then this is the kind of thing that we would offer you as support. So that's the year 12, and that goes through all the different stuff that we offer. And the next slide is the year 13, and that's why there was that gap in the year 12. So that goes through all the different processes that we offer with regards to support for medicine, dentistry and veterinary. And what I would say is if you're keen to look at medicine or dentistry or veterinary, the process really starts now. So while you've only just finished your GCSEs, actually you need to be doing something to look ahead to know which type of institution you want to go to for university, if they do admissions tests, how they select people, and what sort of work experience you would need to do. So start early, and then that'll be a successful outcome. And I would just add, actually, that we've been tremendously successful over the last 2 years that we've headed up the programme. So this year, 11 students, I believe, in Pret, and John will probably refer to it later on, have offers to do medicine, dentistry and veterinary to other institutions afterwards. And that's a step up from 2 from a couple of years back. So we're going in the right direction, and I'm fairly confident, as I think Cheyenne will probably say, that there are now 2 very good groups in the first year, so we should see that number increase. So it's definitely the right choice if you're thinking of considering the college for medicine, dentistry and veterinary. We also have, amongst those 11, are 2 who've applied from the BTEC science course, who've managed to get offers for medicine foundation at different institutions as well, just to show that that isn't a block to that route of progression. Okay, I think that's probably it for the slides. Is there one more? Oh, we do. Yeah, I did think so. So what would I say if you're thinking about doing medicine or dentistry and veterinary? I would say the first thing to do is to be aware of those different routes. And if it is the case that you're nervous about taking A-level chemistry, then explore some of the alternative routes. But I would encourage you not to be nervous and to work hard over the summer to prepare for that A-level, because A-level chemistry is pretty much the key to a successful medical application. At the college, if you're taking chemistry, we require you to take A-level maths alongside it, because 20% of the final exam in chemistry is maths based. So if you're not going to take maths, as some other institutions might allow you to, you'd be at a massive disadvantage compared to the applicants from our college who would have taken maths. And you are in a competition for MDV places. So if you don't get that A in chemistry by you not doing as well in maths as you should do, then that could be a block for you progressing into medicine. We don't want that to happen. So those are the two. Do you have to take biology is a question that's often asked of me. Quite a few of the medical schools say yes, but not all. And I think that's where you can start the work now, is to figure out which of the medical schools you want to apply for and what do they care about. Because some would actually like you to, potentially do a 4th A-level. Not all. Most would like you to do really well in 3. Some will specify that it has to be chemistry and biology. Others will say it has to be chemistry and they're not fussed between biology or physics. On the program that we've made, it is chemistry, biology and maths, and that's how we can guarantee that you won't have to miss any lessons to do that work experience. And I believe I've just done the timetabling, so it'll be Monday and Wednesday that you will have off timetable next year. We'll confirm that in September, but those are 2 days. So if you have anybody who wants to sort out work experience, you can do that now, and we'll try to honour those 2 days as being the 2 days that you'll have off timetable, as it were. Okay. I think I'll hand over to John and Cheyenne next to do a game and to answer any questions, I believe. Good luck, folks.
Hi, so we're just going to be answering questions that you ask on Facebook Live and going through a bit about what the MDV site is like and what it's like being on it. So we're just going to be answering questions. So I'm John, I'm a 2nd year MDV student. I'll be waiting for my A-level results this summer, as most of you are, for GCSEs. And this is Cheyenne.
I'm Cheyenne, yeah. I'm a 1st year student, and I'm studying A-level biology, chemistry, maths, and I'm planning to do medicine at university.
So as for MDV Society, I'd really highly recommend you do chemistry, medicine, chemistry, biology and maths if you want to go into medicine, dentistry, veterinary. For reasons that it would be easier to uni with biology and chemistry. And once you get to university, if you don't have chemistry or biology, you probably have to relearn, especially doing medicine or veterinary dentistry, you have to relearn most of the chemistry and biology content anyway. So I think it's just easier to do A-levels, and maths helps a lot with chemistry. They go side to side. So got a little bit of a sheet about things we're going to be talking through. So my plans after college is hopefully I'll be going to Leeds to do medicine. Not sure when it will be, but hopefully in September. Get the grades, and you'll be going to 2nd year next year, won't you?
Yeah, I'm planning to do medicine at uni. I'm not certain on all the unis yet, but that's what I'm planning to do.
Have you done any work experience yet?
I've done a bit of work experience in a nursery, and I was planning to do some in a care home, but with the situation I haven't been able to. But what I have been doing is online relevant experience, so that like the RCGP, Observe GP, and the Brighton and Sussex Medical School virtual work experience as well.
That's the best thing about the 3-day timetable, is that you've got time to do work experience you need it. For example, for 1st year, every Wednesday, which is the day I went off, I went to Dougie Mark and volunteered there, which really helped with my application. And I spent the other days revising and doing other work experience. And if you're worried about getting work experience, all the universities say that you don't need work experience in the hospital. It's about getting, because not everyone can get that, it's about just doing something like in a care home but as long as you've got things, it doesn't have to be in a hospital, because that's often hard for people who haven't got, say, a doctor in their family to do. So you worry about that, you can do anything such as, it's really easy to apply to work in a care home or nursery, like John has.
A lot of unis prefer hands-on work experience as well, because you're actually having responsibilities and doing stuff rather than just observing from the side as well. And I would say get it as soon as possible, because I didn't really know about work experience, and so that kind of put me behind a bit, but just try and get it as soon as possible, so then you have that work experience.
Yeah, try to do it first year, because second year you've got loads more to do. You've got the application exams, and you've got to apply for UCAS and then interviews and then A-levels. So try to get all the work experience out and done with in the first year, so that second year you focus on A-levels and admission exams.
Yeah. Also with medicine, and medicine, dentistry, veterinary, also it's really, really difficult because it's competitive and you've got loads of things to do. So really consider if that's what you want to go into, and do a bit of research about what it entails and what jobs you could have in the future, because when you're in it, you have to work really hard and be motivated and resilient to get where you want to be.
I know a lot of people will be waiting for GC results now. I'll just go through a bit about that. For medicine, some universities care a lot about GCSEs, some don't even look at them, only a few, but so if you're worried about your GCSEs, you're nervous about it, just know that as long as you're willing to work really hard in A-levels, and especially your admission exams, for example, most universities that don't care about GCSEs care a lot about the admission exam. So as long as you're willing to work hard, as soon as you get to college, your GCSE results don't matter too much, as long as you've got a pass in English and maths, I think, for some universities. And especially since this year, you're not actually sitting exams, it might be more lenient, but I'm not sure.
So there's a question there. Do you guys know how much work experience is recommended for students who are looking into biomedical degrees? Well, it depends on the uni, I would say. Yeah. Like some unis don't really care about work experience, so you have to do your research on that. I know for Kiel, which is one I'm planning to apply for, they have a roles and responsibilities form, so you do need work experience for that. And all the ones I'm applying for, so Manchester, Kiel, Nottingham, they need work experience, but it just depends on the uni.
I found work experience is most useful for interviews, because for your application to uni, you can only really put it in your personal statement, and not all universities look at that. But the interview is probably the hardest stage of it, and it's really important that you have a lot of work experience to talk through. So as long as you've got enough work experience and enough things you've done to talk about it in the interview, without, and say you've got a question about what experience you've done, you need to be able to talk about the experience you've done for a good 10 minutes. So I think really you need to you need to do quite a lot, but it's really just important for the interviews. As long as you've got a lot to talk about, it should be fine.
In terms of biomedical degrees, I would say if you've got, because you have 4 choices for medicine and then your 5th choice, so if you're definitely set on medicine, you'll be having your 4 choices for medicine, and then your 5th choice will be something else, so maybe a biomedical degree. As long as you have all that work experience for medicine, I would say it's fine. And I've been looking at biomedical degrees and they don't really require work experience from what I know, or not much, so
yeah. And also, this is most of what we say about medicine is the same for veterinary and dentistry. Obviously, we're both applying for medicine.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people apply for veterinary and dentistry, and it's generally the same kind of route with applying and doing interviews. Obviously, it's slightly different, but it's mainly similar. You have to have the same work experience for both.
Yeah, for veterinary, you might need a certain amount of hours, and also in different types of areas. So, like at the vets, or maybe farm animals, or maybe even zoo animals as well. So.
Yeah, if I can come in, I'd just definitely echo what Cheyenne said there. For veterinary, you will need more work experience than if you want to be a doctor, and you will need diverse work experience. So you'd need small animal experience, you might need exotic experience, and you might need farm animal experience. Again, it does depend on which veterinary school you're going to apply for, and do look at what they all do. But it isn't quite as diverse as medicine in there. Some medical schools don't really mind about the work experience. They care more about the academics, and then some really care about the work experience. In veterinary, they pretty much all care, and they want you to have quite a bit of it. Dentistry varies by institution. There aren't that many. Again, look them up. So thanks for that, and it's a good prompt.
So one of the questions in the sheet we've got is, have you struggled with anything or had to overcome anything while you've been a student here? So I think the biggest struggle really whilst I was here is having to prepare with the interviews. Because I was so nervous about them, I was very nervous about speaking in front of all these different interviewers and answering their questions. That was definitely the hardest part for me. But as part of the MDV society, this college, what they do is have practice interviews. So first I did a practice interview with my chemistry teacher to get used to it. And then the college had, I think it was mainly doctors who came in, who came and did a practice interview and gave us all feedback about it. So that definitely helped with my confidence for it. Yeah,
what I struggle with is probably the workload, because high school doesn't really prepare you for how much work A-levels actually are on top of your work experience and everything else. It is quite a lot, but once you get into the rhythm of things, you'll get used to it. But just be prepared that it's a lot of work and a lot of independent study as well.
Yeah, I'll come on that. I definitely echo Cheyenne's comments there. And while we give you 2 days off a week, one of which will probably be work experience if you want to go for one of the ones that requires that large and significant amount of time over a period. The other day is not really a free day. I would definitely say that, if you listen to Cheyenne's advice there and start working on that day of college work, you'll do yourself a massive favour in the long run. So treat it as a day that you can do work from home. You are, of course, free on that day if it's not work experience to come into the college and use the LRCs and the rest of it, and they can be good learning environments for you too. But yeah, good point.
So we've got another comment here. It says, I am a foreign student, but I completed intermediate from my country, so it is necessary to do GCSEs, or by doing only BTEC, applied science course, I directly go to university for medicine.
Yeah, I think this might be a question for Ed, because...
Yeah, it probably is a question for me. It kind of depends on which country the qualifications are from, and each university has their own admissions authority. So they're allowed to make a decision about if they regard your qualifications as equivalent to GCSEs or not. As far as the college is concerned, you would have to check those qualifications to see if they were equivalent to ours, because if you don't have English or maths equivalent, then unfortunately at the college you have to do them. Otherwise we are not allowed to accept you as a student. So there's probably a bit of work to be done there, and feel free to email the inquiry to admissions, and they might be able to get back to you. With regards to the GCSEs, if you don't have them, then the universities obviously can't use them. Different universities do the things then in different ways. So they might uprate, as John referred to earlier, their admissions tests. They might require you to do a different admissions test, or they might use your predicted grades. So it's not an easy way out if you don't have them. It actually might make it a bit more tricky along the route. We do offer, and this is where some students have taken advantage of this, the chance to do GCSEs at the college as well in the subjects we offer level 3 foundation. So you can resit English, you can resit maths, you can resit science. I'd just say if you need to do all them, then medicine's going to be quite a long and hard journey for you. And remember, that's probably the level 3 foundation route. The BTEC route is valid, and that normally is to medicine foundation. We've had 2 offers this year, and that's for, say, if you got 4s or 5s in your GCSEs, but then you show a real turnaround and you definitely want to do medicine, you're going to work really hard at it. And we've had 2 successful people this year, so it is possible to go that route into it. Okay.
I'm sure you're wondering what this is here. So for the next part, we're going to play the operation game against each other. We'll still be answering questions on Facebook Live, but it's my first time playing it, so I'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Got those off. Tactic here to put on for it, like a proper surgeon.
I think the important point why they get ready, folks, is that as well as the MDV Society, you do have to be prepared to not take yourself too seriously as a doctor or a vet or as a dentist. You do have to do some strange things and come across some strange conditions from different people or animals or teeth. And so I'm pretty pleased that they've decided to join in with this. And it is part of that development of skill is to sometimes, go outside your comfort zone with regards to what you want to do. So good on them both for taking part. And good luck.
Just while the students are getting prepared for their game of operations, there's just another comment that's come through.
Okay.
Do students have chances to A-levels in biology and chemistry if they get 5 in their maths?
Well, I think the answer to that question is, why would they want to? So if they want to do medicine, they need to get the highest grades possible after 2 years. If they've got 5s in their GCSE and they are insistent on taking the A-levels, the unfortunate reality of the ground is that most of the people taking those A-levels will have probably 7s, 8s or 9s. And then they will probably take the A grades away from them. And that isn't a comment on how hard they're going to work at all. It's just that people who want to do medicine, as the 2 people in front of you do, are very dedicated and will work hard. And there is only a finite time between when you start at the college and when you take your final exams. So I'd say if you've got 5s in your GCSEs, the correct response if you want to be a doctor is to listen to the advice and take the BTEC, because that way you might still make it. Whereas if you're insistent on doing the A-levels, you probably won't, because you probably won't get the A grades, and that will block off not only foundation medicine, but will block off graduate entry medicine for a few of the medical institutions, because if you take chemistry and you don't get an A in it, they can always use that to say, actually, no, So I would say if you're going to get 5s, or if you get 5s, come talk to us. If there's a reason why your 5 isn't representative of your ability, we'll listen to that. And we do indeed make some decisions on the day with regards to people we'll listen to and let onto the A-level programme. But I'd say if it is a legitimate 5, then the route through to get to medicine is to do the BTEC, if that makes sense, Georgia. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks, Ed.
Okay. Any more? Or are they ready to go? They look dressed and ready, so.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go now.
Yeah.
Not quite sure how I play it. So you pick on the chords first. Some spell rib, it's now gonna. It's a good type thing. He's got another. So I need to get a spell rib. I think we need to put it straight. All the. Or it's this kind of.
That makes it trickier for you, John. That's part of the challenge.
Sure, yeah. I'm definitely going to do this.
Oh!
Do I have to try that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you try this one then? Or?
Yeah.
You can feel the tension building. So interesting technique, making sure the wire's out of the way.
Oh, God.
Oh, got a buzz.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
We go to the next one.
You want the next one?
Yeah, we go to the next one.
Okay. I need to get the pulled muscle. You find it first.
It is a point actually that people do have to actually underestimate for some of the medical professions and some of the specialisms you're about to go into. Manual dexterity is actually very important. Now, we build this up at the college through your practical work in biology and chemistry. So, whilst people might, think that isn't as important as the A grade, actually for some of the multi-mini stage interviews you'll have, you might actually be assessed on can you manually what's your manual dexterity like. We had a first success there, didn't we, John? Is that 1-0 so far?
First one. Shaking too.
I feel like I want to talk, but at the same time, it's quite transfixing watching people play the game, isn't it? Remotely, it's like.
Oh.
There's a little buzz where his nose light up.
Can you try that again?
Yeah, I can do.
I think you've got, is it 3 minutes left, Georgie?
Yeah, 3 minutes left.
To come to a conclusion. Is there any more questions, George? Oh, that was a go.
I'm not getting that one. Should we try another one?
Yeah, I'm good. That's funny though. Oh my gosh.
I think they're getting nervous now, folks. I don't blame them, to be honest, if they're on Facebook Live. I'll probably talk over why John does the next one. The other standard questions that get asked about the MDV program at the college is what will you sort out work experience for us? And that's a very interesting question because it kind of reveals something about the program. It is mainly a self-help program. And that's how we have as much success as we do, more so than most of the other local providers with the 11 offers we've got from this year. Because medicine and indeed dentistry and veterinary isn't really something that somebody else can get you into. It comes from what you're willing to do yourself, both with regards to your A-levels or your BTEC course, with regards to work experience, with regards to the admissions test preparation, the interview preparation. We do put a lot of stuff on to help you. And things like this actually, will help Cheyenne when she comes to probably ask her questions next year at the multi-mini stage. Everything we do is designed to give you opportunities, but it's up to you which of those you think you need to take and which those will help you along that route. So as John says, the MDV Society, it isn't compulsory, but it is, as John said, highly recommended, and that will get you an extra session. And I believe Cheyenne's just equaled the score there at 1 each, is it? Is that right now?
No, I've got 2 now.
Oh, we've got 2. Oh, fair enough. I wasn't paying close enough attention. But, the key thing about it is what are you willing to do? The college will help you to do that stuff, hence the 2 days off. Because what we didn't want is people getting really good work experiences and then that having an impact on their curriculum time. So that's why we've changed the curriculum for the MDV as well.
There's just one more quick question just before we wrap up the game of operation. So, why do some students study more than 3 A-levels when they're only required to do 3 to get into university?
That's probably one for me. I think it kind of depends on the student and what they're trying to do with that 4th A-level. So, as the head of High Achievers, if you ask to do 4 or 5, it will probably come to either myself, Gemini, Dawn or Jodie to make that decision if you're allowed to do 4 or 5 at the college. And we'll want to reason. So, for example, if you do 3 and do 3 well, that's fine for medicine. If you did 4, what that could demonstrate is that you can cope with an increased workload. Now, you might be able to demonstrate that by doing the 3 A-levels and doing work experience on top of them. But it could be that you use the 4th A-level to demonstrate that, and that's fine. It could be that you have a particular interest in maybe the ethical side of medicine, in which case biology, chemistry, maths, and philosophy make sense. It could be that you have a particular interest in the psychological aspects of medicine, in which case it could make sense to marry those 3 with psychology. And that's what we're after. So that's what I mean by it's a self-help program, is if you have a particular interest that would be suited by you doing a 4th A-level, that's fine. Bear in mind, though, that 4th A-level would mean that I can't guarantee you the time off to do work experience. Now, that probably then restricts your choice of medical school, but that's fine, because actually what you should be doing between now and when you start at the college is looking at going, well, which medical schools do I want to apply for? What do I need to do to get into that medical school? And, that's part of the process of getting there. Does that answer the question, Georgia?
Yeah, that's brilliant, thanks. So we are out of time now. So who was the winner? So
I got £600.
I got 700.
Oh,
to relax if you wanted to. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. I want to give everyone a quick wave.
Yeah, and thanks, John and Cheyenne. It's been really good. That's really good. And I hope you enjoyed the operation and maybe a Christmas present for future.